Oh, welcome live from my basement, baby. Coming in hot, throwing it back a little bit, totally on accident. Didn't mean to click that banner to put up for everyone. That one was totally unplanned. I clicked the wrong one. Usually we got our image with our logo music going with it,
but the second one to go.
Hey, we don't want to make.
That wasn't on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're hot, baby. We're hot. Oh, welcome in everybody. Thanks for joining the show tonight. I'm Ryan. We haven't done this in a while. That would be the left of me.
Yeah.
Is Sam, and down below is Big Time Tom. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing today?
Not too bad. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm drinking water with lemons in it because this will be probably the last healthy thing I have all week. Because it's Thanksgiving and I can't wait to eat until I start sweating.
Yeah, a lot of my pants this week have had elastic. I'm just kind of prepping them, getting them ready to go. So,
Heck yeah.
Oh man, and then Tom tonight, I got to put this out. Tom bought a fridge.
Yeah,
Tom bought a fridge, and let me tell you that travesty that went on over there. No, I won't. But
oh God, hey, Ryan, if it weren't for you though, brother, Megan and I would have been hands throwing. I would have had to do the show with sunglasses because I have a black eye right now, man. I'll tell you what. But hey, it's all good. It's in there. Shout out to Ryan and my boy Dave Clemens. He came over, hooked me up, helped Ryan out. I was mainly supervising, as I want to do.
Listen, I got to tell. I have to tell everyone. Tom calls me at 1:00 and asks about a fridge, what I have. Then at 5 on my way home from Burton, he goes, "Hey, could you help me bring this fridge into the house?" And I'm like, "Sure, just a fridge into the house." I get there, the fridge in the packaging, still wrapped up, in the back of the truck, upright. Not even close to being on the ground. So it was definitely interesting. Very interesting, needless to say.
Yeah.
But more interesting stuff, if we want to talk about interesting stuff, is tonight at 8:45, here in about 10 minutes, we're going to bring on Matt Newsome, the head coach of the Lakeside varsity boys basketball team, and the assistant head coach, Sean Allgood, at 8:45. Hopefully Allgood. He disappeared on us, but I'm sure he's done enough time. He had some other things he had to handle, whatever it may be. So, but yeah, very interesting.
That's
getting
right.
into it.
I see the gear tonight.
Yeah,
it's all about Lakeside tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you get to rock the true colors tonight. Little Lakeside gear.
Ryan
wearing some gear.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I forgot I even had it on. To be honest with you, I've been wearing it all day. But I do have the. So everybody, real quick. Sammy put a banner up, and I think it was Sammy at least. Down there on the bottom. So now you can get our gear made on demand down at Made in Ohio. Call Bart down there, 964-9057. If you need yourself a gator, he makes them on deck. About 10-minute turnaround time.
You can stay safe and look super cool.
Right.
So go down and check it out.
Fly.
You can get these 3 beautiful faces right here in front of your face.
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want that, man?
Well, coming in hot, baby.
That's right. That's right. So you got to be safe. And, with the way the COVID-19 numbers are running right now, maybe some of y'all need to mask up.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
Yeah, mask up.
Maybe.
And at the end of the show, we're talking about dragons. Dragons breathe fire. We got something special at the end of the show. We're going to talk about breathing some fire at the end of the show.
You might as well, you know what, let's just tell them, because I called it a chinchilla. I don't know. The last thing I want is your face on my mouth. Come on, Pete. Don't be like that. We created a friendship over the last 12 weeks. But Tom has decided, because, go ahead, Tom. Tell him, because it's a spiel. It's your friend salsa stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I went to Westminster College in Pennsylvania. It's near Pittsburgh. And there was this dude that I knew, and his name was Matt Perella. And Perella had an entrepreneurial mindset, very young age. And a couple years after we graduated, I found him on Instagram, and he started this company. It's a salsa company. And I was strolling through the Ashtabula Walmart one day, and I found this salsa. It's called Two Ugly Mugs Salsa. So, I'm talking to Matt, we reconnected, we started chopping it up, and he was like, hey, listen, like, we like doing this thing. We got this thing, and I'd love if you did it on your show. So Matt sent me kindly a bottle of Two Ugly Mugs salsa, which you'll see in a little bit. But then he sent me this Reaper salsa additive. So in there is ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper pepper. And I'm going to take a spoon at the end of the show, dunk that son of a gun, and eat it. And I got to pass the Reaper challenge, and I got to pass it on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You pass it on to me, I'm out. I'm just going to tell you I ain't doing it, just so you know.
Listen, I have every intention on being able to taste that food on Thursday, so there's zero chance I'm doing that today.
Hey, we'll figure it out.
Yep. But I was doing a quick voiceover a couple minutes ago. It says what a season COVID numbers skyrocket. Are we going to one of those?
Yeah, well, I guess the COVID numbers, just really quickly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's going on, COVID numbers have quadrupled or quintupled, or it's way more than it should be, I guess, is the quick and easy way to say it, which has resulted in all of the winter sports for now being kind of pushed out. So that's something, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on in the show. But, all these things have been pushed out, I believe, at least until like December, first week of December-ish. Nothing is stamped stamped in concrete yet. So we're going to be playing that by ear. But what you can look forward to on this show is we are going to do something similar to what we did with football. This week, Lakeside is going to be busting open the season. They're going to be the first coaches on here. But we're going to have coaches from each school come on here. We're also going to be including girls coaches as well as wrestling coaches. So that's really what kind of the programming coming up this season is going to be. It's going to be a lot of coaches preparing us for this season that hopefully happens. I have every, confidence that it will. I know that we're all going to get through this together. This has been no fun for anyone. This is, one of the things you guys have to remember is, as an adult, it's fun to watch these things. And, like coaches, it's fun to coach. But, coaches are coming back next year, and we're going to be able to watch this next year. But there are a lot of kids out there that this is going to be their last year to be able to do these things. Not everybody's going to play basketball in college. No, not everybody's going to wrestle in college. Not everybody's going to do indoor track in college. For these seniors, it's very important. So, at the risk of becoming preachy, I'm asking everybody, do your part so we can give these kids what they deserve. The same way I was being preachy in July, so we can get these kids a season for football.
I like preach? Never.
Never. Don't preach.
Well, I like to think that maybe if you put the kids first and you think about the fact that there's a kid out there who's getting shortchanged, that maybe we get it all together. So that's my $5 speech on let's try and get it together.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this season coming up because just like football season, when we went into football, we didn't really know any of the kids, not a lot of the coaches. It was exciting to develop that relationship with each and every school. I'm pumped about it, and I can't wait to see it. Hopefully by the early, mid, and December, where excuse me, Corona. Whenever it happens, we get to have the luxury of being there. So.
Oh, and I'm telling you, if you thought my commentary was goofy during football, wait until basketball.
Yeah.
Because when
I'm not going to know what I'm talking about.
Listen, when people get crossed over and dunked on, I become Jamar Parker out there.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Only Ashtabula people are going to understand that.
All right, so it is 8:42. Coaches will be on here in a minute. Let's run a couple sponsor messages and bring on the coaches. All right, guys?
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Here we go. 440 and Gold proudly welcomes Play All Awards and Engraving. Awards, they do them all at Play All. From trophies to plaques to all other things celebration. Play All has 2 on-site laser computerized engraving machines as well as thermal imaging equipment. Play All has been locally owned and operated since 1993. Check them out at playallamerica.com or check out their Facebook page at Play All Awards and Engraving. visit Playall at 4542 Main Avenue in beautiful downtown Ashtabula, Ohio. 440 Gold presents Made in Ohio. Made in Ohio makes custom t-shirts, hoodies, banners, jerseys, and more. With the fastest turnaround time in Ashtabula, 440 Gold is proud to have Made in Ohio as its official Player of the Week sponsor. Contact Made in Ohio at 440-964-9057 or visit Made in Ohio at 1028 Bridge Street in beautiful, historic Ashtabula Harbor. Also, check Made in Ohio out on Facebook for upcoming Black Friday sales for the holiday season. 440 Gold proudly presents Trilogy Cabinets and Design. Planning a small remodel or building your dream home? From a single display case to cabinetry throughout the entire home, Trilogy Cabinets and Design can help make your vision a reality. Their quality and designs are second to none and are often more affordable than other custom options. If you can dream it, Trilogy Cabinets and Design can build it. Contact Trilogy Cabinet and Designs at 814-683-4511.
Tri-Fin Charters, Northeast Ohio's premier multi-species guide service. Captain Mark Dietrich is here to set up your trip of a lifetime. Catfish, walleye, steelhead, crappie, perch, and more. Mosquito Lake, Lake Erie, Ohio River, or even Pymatuning Reservoir. Tri-Fin Charters, where dreams become reality. 440-228-5744.
All right. So 8:45 on the nose. I don't know how I planned that well, but we'll go with it. We did lose Goody, but we'll bring him back on here as soon as he hops into the box with us. So without further ado, we'll get Mr. Head Coach of the Lakeside Dragons, Matt Newsome. Welcome in, Mr. Newsome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. He's muted. Let me unmute him so you can say hi. Hold on. There you go. Now we can all hear you.
All right.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Outstanding. Really, really pumped up to get started with this basketball season, Coach. This is your first full year coming in with your guys this year into a season, and just as it was a weird start for you, it's going to be a weird start again.
Yeah, for sure. We're all geared up to get rolling, and we're pretty hot and heavy, and then got the brakes put on us for a little bit here, but we're doing what we can to keep the boys engaged and excited about the season, and just doing whatever we can at this point.
Yeah, we've got some stuff we're putting together with the way you guys are doing that. Some of those ideas that you did, and we're going to release those at a later date on the QT.
So real quick, because he made his way back again. Let's bring on, without further ado, assistant head coach of the Lakeside Dragons, Mr. Sean Allgood. Hey!
Right. Hooty-hoo.
Hooty-hoo.
What's up, Coach?
So we got them all on now. All right. Now we're ready to rock and roll, hopefully.
What's up, man?
All right.
Good, yeah.
So these guys, I'm surprised they have any voices left still, because they just stopped practicing not too long ago before the kibosh got put onto it. And I'm sure it's been, anybody who has coached anything knows in the early parts is when you got to do the most work. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I did lose my voice that first week. We had our first scrimmage against Pymatuning Valley, and in the matter of just kind of running through the whole scrimmage and everything, I ended up losing my voice in the first 10 minutes or so, which made it kind of fun throughout the rest of the scrimmage. Sounding like a moron.
Yeah, that scrimmage versus Pymatuning Valley, that was one of those things I'm sure a lot of people would have wanted to see. Unfortunately, with all the rules and the way everything's getting closed down, you've got two guys on the court at the same time that were being called for Player of the Year candidates in returning Player of the Year Brandon Ford, as well as Jonah Wilkerson out of PV, who is on the watch for Player of the Year. So you get to watch kind of two county titans go right at each other. What a great way to start. They say iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, and they're no joke. They were tough.
Right.
They were tough. It was funny, too, because They just
definitely tough.
I think they had their football season. They had their cuts the night before we scrimmage, so that was like their first go at it together. That scrimmage that night. And like I said, they're no joke. They're tough. Jonah's tough, and the rest of his squad.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pamatami Valley, they don't just have Jonah Wilkerson. I mean, they got a kid, Tyler Bean. I mean, that he's probably like 6'4" and just a Mack truck, has a 6-pack on his arms. Like, it's insane.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just crazy, though. I mean, they come together, like you said, like a night before, and they play together. And I almost wonder, like, a lot of them played football together. So I wonder almost like if that chemistry on the football field lended itself to the basketball court. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Multi-sport athletes staying together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very physical. I tell you that, very physical.
One of the things we try and do when we get the coaches on here, and this is one of the points of bringing the coaches on here, is we kind of want everybody to get a chance to learn the programs, learn the people who are running the programs, the leaders who are leading our young men out here. So we're going to start with you, Coach Newsome. If you want to just kind of do a little bit of an introduction about yourself, a little bit of background, how you got into coaching, what you love about coaching, however you want to do it. You know how it goes.
Sure. Yeah. I started out as a player at St. John. Playing under Coach Bowler, who's obviously a huge influence on me, during my high school years, and continues to be. He's still a very close friend of mine. Then after that, coaching has kind of been in the family, to a certain extent. My wife's also coached the volleyball team at Lakeside. She coached previously for 17 years there, hung 2 banners on the wall in the gym, and it wasn't long after that a buddy of mine, Ken Petros, that's Big Sam's dad.
Okay.
We started a travel basketball team called the Beulah Blizzard, and we played out at Perry out there, and then years after that we added another team. So we had a couple teams going at once, and then at one point we had up to 3 teams playing out in Perry under the Beulah Blizzard name. And then I think it was a few years after that, somebody had approached me from Lakeside, just wanting to know if I had any interest in getting involved with the varsity program. So I ended up joining the squad as an assistant under Coach Pisano, and then after that, last year under Coach Manarino, and then midway through the season, I ended up taking over, and then now here I am talking to you guys.
Yeah, I mean that's. Hey,
here I am.
No, that's right. So you kind of have you do have a little bit of an advantage in that even though you are a new coach, you're not new to these kids, and these kids, they know who you are because you've been involved with the program, and also you're an area guy, you're an Ashtabula guy too, which it doesn't have to be that way, but it helps. There's a little bit of a different mentality here in Ashtabula. We all grew up here together, so I guess that kind of helps with dealing with these young men as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it goes the same for the whole coaching staff. We're all Ashtabula guys, and I do have that time with the kids. And I think part of it is, we can't just come in expecting them to run through a brick wall for us without us proving to them that we're willing to do that for them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've got some time invested with these guys, and like you said, we're invested in the community. So at the end of the day, after a win, after a loss, we're running into people, at a restaurant, at the gas station, and we're just investing in the community, wanting good things for these boys.
Awesome. And then, so now we're going to move on real quick before I ask you to introduce yourself. Tonight is a special night, not only because it's Lakeside, and we are Lakeside graduates, so, obviously they're going to be near and dear to our heart. We don't play favorites, though. But this is a special night for me because I get to have one of my own coaches. And before we introduce Sean Allgood, I want to show you the last time I remember him coaching basketball, and that was when he was coaching these guys.
Oh, there you are,
right.
Sam. I see you.
Yeah, right there. You see it.
Oh my goodness!
That is circa 2001 Lakeside 9 right there. Our next, before I would like to introduce Sean Allgood. Sean, you've been a coach forever. I've known you forever. If you want to kind of introduce yourself to the people watching, as well as kind of talk about how you got back into coaching.
Oh shoot, where to start? I tell you, I never really been out of coaching. I've been coaching so long, but kind of where I got started. Once I got out of college, and I moved to Columbus, and I got out of Columbus and got a job back here. I was trying to get into the football, and when Coach Rope back in '97. Asked me to coach at Ashtabula High School for the girls as an assistant. So that's how I actually got into coaching. I knew the next year I was coming on with Jake Hurlou in the football program. But the first job was the coaching the girls, being a varsity assistant with the girls. Some of the Jessica Kinsales, the Betsy Noble, Patricia Noble, some of them girls that are notable. So I did that for 1 year. Then Tim Tallbecker came. He was the head basketball coach at Ashtabula, and he asked me to come on and at the freshman level. And so then I got on at the freshman level, coached 1 year there, and then it turned into like a Lakeside 9 for the second year for the freshmen. And so I coached a couple years under Tim Tallbecker, who's a great guy. A great friend of mine, and we coached both football and basketball. And then after that, I coached for Columbus junior high. So I'm kind of predating myself. So I coached there for a year, and then going from there, I coached at State Road Elementary for a year. So, and then at that time, then I kind of moved on to Lake Erie. For the last 13 years, coach football there, but I've always been around the game and enjoyed being around it, and kind of how I got back into it. Really wasn't trying to get back into it, but I knew I'd missed it. I've been not coaching for a year and a half since I left Lake Erie. Then Coach and I had a conversation, and he kind of threw it out there, and I'm like, yeah. I kind of want to get back into football type of deal. And he was like, well, just think about it. And as I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and then some other things came into play, like my son coming here, and so that kind of made my decision up. And I'm like, hey, my son's here, I coach my son, so kind of factor, and I took it, and here I am. And I'm glad I did. I love the kids. It's not. This is a different type of kid. Are great kids. It's a different era. So I'm learning new things myself. But however, I love to be back, and I appreciate Coach for having me.
Yeah, this is a great thing for this area. I'll be honest with you. Basketball and Ashtabula basketball has been, highs and lows. I think one thing that we have so desperately needed is leadership, and I'm so happy with the leadership that we have right here. This is the type of deal that, and I'm not just saying that, I'm being very genuine for real. This is the type of thing that we need to get the change going. I see kids that are buying into a program, and you guys aren't making great basketball players. You're making great men. You guys know that Lakeside has a bit of an aura about them sometimes, especially in the community when it comes to, it's a Lakeside kid. I love the fact that is changing. The overall look of the Lakeside athlete is changing. It's becoming a much more positive, and both of you guys are doing a great job on that. I'm super excited to see where this thing is going. Of course, like everything else good in the world, it's going to be delayed.
Right.
So we're going to have to be patient with it. But this is huge. This is a big thing for the community.
Absolutely.
Two Ashtabula guys, together running this program in the right direction.
So I'm gonna let Sammy catch a breath there. He's been going to town, but he's known to do that a time or two. I got a question. It just kind of hit me. This is why I love doing this more than anything. Is as Tom would say, it's a spitball kind of question. But obviously, you guys have some tenure in coaching. But and whoever wants to go first can go. What's your favorite part about coaching? So obviously, and I'm not talking about defense, I guess, not talking about offense, but as a whole, when you see everything, there's an end-all, be-all in most stuff. What's your favorite part about it?
Yeah, so Coach, I'll go first if you don't mind. For me, anyway, it's a couple different things. One of them is seeing the kids respond to you when we're trying to motivate them. Mm-hmm. I know Coach and I, we get pretty hyped up at practice. We get pretty excited. At any given moment, anybody's ready to tackle another person. We get amped up, just having a good time. So getting the kids motivated is definitely a huge thing. Coach, did you have something, Coach?
I'm sorry.
We're going to you, is what he's saying.
Okay.
He answered his question.
Yeah, okay, for me, for me, it's always been about shaping the kids. It's about bigger than the sport that you're coaching. I want to shape young men. I want to give them life skills. Because obviously when the 4 zeros hit that clock for the last time, the real world's going to be right at their hand. So, I want to be able to shape them and show them what life's going to be about. Not just basketball, not just football, but there is life after sports. And so that's a big part of my job is trying to mold and shape them. Because I've been in their position. They've never been in ours. And we know what this world has to offer. So it's getting ready the real. That's kind of my perspective.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like Coach is saying, those things that we're trying to impress upon those kids are far more important than following through on your jump shot or coming off your left leg on a right-handed layup. Those kinds of things. They're just meaningless compared to some of the life skills that we're trying to teach the kids.
Very cool.
Nice.
So I had a question for you, Sean, if you don't mind here real quick. So Sammy pulled up that beautiful picture of like him and Billman and Callender and some of the other guys there. And, you coach them. So obviously, there's some memories there. And now you're developing new memories with like this newer generation of team. What's the biggest difference between like coaching back then and coaching now? Like what's the biggest things that you see have changed? Like what are the differences between like when I was a 15-year-old kid and now?
It's it's really not a lot of difference. I just say back then it was just the love of the game. I thought the kids really loved it. They kind of just basically it didn't matter what we said. They went out and did, and they just went for it. We didn't have to keep stressing, competing because that's what it was. Okay. A little bit more now today. It's kids have kind of lost that a little bit, but I'm seeing great signs, at least in our kids, that we're competing in everything. I'm trying to get them to compete. We're trying to get them to compete. We want them. If they're not competing, they're not trying. So that's just the kind of the difference of where you guys were versus these kids. Talent level, obviously, guys both had talent, but these kids lost the element of competing, and we're trying to bring that back. That's all.
Oh, these kids are 100% more talented than our team. I don't care what anybody says. I play on that team. I know what. Listen,
Gosh.
you can. I'm from the generation. You can tell me. Coach Newsome, I'm
Hey,
going to
thank
ask
you for answering that, Sean.
I hear
I'm
you.
going to ask you a question, kind of building off of what
No problem.
Tom was talking about there. With one of the things he's talking about is developing that competitive spirit, keeping that competitive edge, and that's one of the things you guys are trying to instill in these kids. You guys have it's a plus really in that you have a returning player of the year now in Brandon Ford. So this guy he wins player of the year as a junior. He's coming back now. Instead of being a junior, he's a senior, and he's to be the leader on the team. And one of the guys we've actually had on the show was a guy by the name of Emilio Parks, who talked about a little bit of that transition from his junior year to senior year, whereas in the junior year, he was just kind of, I'm going to score, to turning him into a leader. And he said a lot of that was the coaches teaching him. So what are some of the things? Is that something that you guys are focusing on, or is it coming natural just to that individual player? I know we're not trying to hype anybody up more than anybody, but, awards are awards.
Right. No, well, I'll tell you, there's no slow up in Brandon as far as, the transition from his junior year to senior year. Before the slowdown, before the shutdown here, this quarantine period or whatever it is, he's in the gym with me every single morning. Before he's logging onto his computer, he's in the gym every morning, getting up 500 to 700 shots a morning. And if he's not hitting a certain percentage at each spot around the 3-point line, he's upset with himself. So he's working. I thought he was a hard worker last year. He's up that even more so this year, and he's an ultimate competitor. He expects his teammates to play at his level. He's basically telling them, "Come up to my level." And he's not only a leader, out on the court and on the football field, but also in the classroom. Obviously, I think he averaged 18.2 points a game, 7.5 assists, 7.5 rebounds a game. And he shot like 54% from three. But the most impressive stat, with Brandon is his GPA, and he's right around 3.7. He's got a 3.7 right around now. So that's my favorite stat, when it comes to Brandon. But we actually have a bunch of guys on the team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a bunch of guys on the team that share that competitive spirit in the classroom.
Well, you know what, Coach? I think right now is a good time to kind of for me to ask you that. You don't have to name them all, but just some guys that we're going to kind of look out for, some senior leaders coming out this year, some leaders for the team that the community can look forward to making a difference on the court, whether it be on the offensive, defensive, both sides of the ball, that sort of thing. Who are some of the guys that the Dragons are going to heavily rely on?
Well, we've got some names that you guys are pretty familiar with. We talked about Brandon already, but one of the things that Coach and I stress as the most important thing with regard to our team is the defense, and I think that our defensive leader is Savion Colbert. The same sort of
you're talking about this guy.
Yeah.
Talking about this guy.
Carries that exact same, he carries that exact same mindset on the basketball court, and he's one of those kids. He's ready to pick you up the second you're getting off the bus. So he's just got that defensive mindset, in that he understands that the other team has something that they're wanting to do, and he's wanting to be as disruptive and stop them as possible. So there's Savion. As far as another senior leader, we've got a bunch of them. We are a bit of we're heavy on seniors for sure. We've got a quiet assassin in Elijah Haynes. You're going to get to know him real well. I think at the end of last year, Dom Parsons is another name that that you guys probably became a little more familiar with. He really plays above the rim. He can jump out of the gym, and he's been working on his jump shot all summer, whether it's been here at my house or Whenever we can get in the gym in the preseason, he's really been focusing a lot on his jump shot. So there's a whole host of guys that I could give you, but those are a few names that definitely jump out at me right now.
So I know we're talking about a little bit of everything, but last night we got to chat a little bit about defense, and that seems like a big part from what you guys are planning to put out on the court. I don't know if Goody wants to take this one, but it's up to whoever would like to. Go ahead and
Absolutely.
go to town. Kind of let us know what the plan is, what the goal is. I heard about if they're panting on one side and you're not, it's good. That's about all I know. So, but go ahead. Take over. Let us know about some defense.
Well, we haven't really gotten into the teeth of our game plan for what we're going to do this year. But I do know it's going to be in your face. We're going to tug on your jersey. And when you leave whatever arena, you're going to be tired. That's what I do know. So no matter what, we go full court press, man-to-man zone, full court press. We're going to be in something where it's going to get your attention and get your heart rate going. And it's going to be all game, whether we're up by 20 or down by 20. We're going to get so that's huge. Much offense. We're all about defense because, like Coach said last night, it's about we do believe in our philosophy. We do believe that a great defensive team turns into a great offense.
Yeah, and I guess just to kind of add to that a bit, it's our belief that our defense and the stops that we get on the defensive side are going to create turnovers, which will be high percentage shots, on the other side of the floor. So, like Coach said, we are stressing defense. We are a very, very heavy defensive team. I thought that I liked defense. I thought that I was a defensive freak until I got to know Coach a little more and understood that I had nowhere near as much the defensive intensity that he has. He's a freak. I told you guys last night, he likes to bring you guys were talking about that hot sauce earlier. Coach likes to bring the hot sauce to practice.
I know one defensive set. I know one defensive set as an adult still from 20 years ago. I can tell you, I can write that Yukon press or whatever it's going to be called. I can still draw that on the board right now. So for you guys watching, for all of you young men watching, know what those plays are, because there's going to be a time when you don't think and you're not ready and you're out there joking, talking about how you did this sweet TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And then one of these coaches is going to give you a pen and say, listen, go up there and draw this play for me. And everybody's going to start tying their sneakers because they know you don't know it.
Oh man, I can see it too. I can. But
yeah, that's what Sammy. That's why he knows it very well.
Yep.
I was the pen guy. I was the guy that as soon as I got the pen, they're like, oh, here we go. I want to go into really quick. Just
good times, man. Good times.
A little bit more into the offensive portion of it, because with those high octane offenses or defensives, where you're keeping the other team tired. And the one thing I can say about Lakeside basketball, and this is for all you coaches out there watching, county or otherwise, get ready to run because they're going to be in fantastic shape. So be ready to go. But that, like you said, it kind of turns that into an offense. It turns it into offense. So one of the things I'm wondering, you as a coach, how do you kind of hone in that offense? Because especially with these young men, you're dealing with 15 to 18-year-old men. You know what I mean? Testosterone's at an all-time high. It's sometimes hard to keep them out of their head, making the right decisions. Not always trying to make full court passes and stuff like that, making sure they're playing the right style of offense. What are some of the things? Is that something you don't struggle with, but something you're trying to combat and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to what you said. There's a functionally fast offense that that we utilize. We're taking advantage of the personnel that we have. We are an extremely athletic squad. So there's not a whole lot of standing around at all. The ball's not getting, even in the half court, where the ball's not getting sticky in anybody's hands at all. We don't have anybody that's standing out there dribbling around, for a whole length of time. We're looking to move as much as we can. One of the things that we talk about is, and this is one of my buddies down in Columbus would always say, if you don't get, you get. So if you don't get the ball, get out of the way and cut through. You know what I mean? So we're moving and really moving constantly and taking advantage of the personnel that we have and the fact that we are so extremely athletic.
Hold on, Tom, because I know you've got a great question next. I just want to get something out real quick. So one of the things, and I ask this with all the football coaches too, I think the best practice you get is having a great team yourself. So when you've got this this competition within itself. So do you feel like the fact that you guys do run so high octane and stuff like that, you guys are not going to be shook?
I'm sorry, we're not going to be. What's that?
Like you guys can't. Do you feel more confident in the fact that when teams come at you full court presses and they're coming at you and trapping and trying to disrupt offenses and stuff like that, you feel like your team is less likely to be shook just because you guys do this all the time?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are practicing it constantly, and we're not necessarily. We don't have at this point anyway. We don't have necessarily like a set five, so we're splitting up. Our 10 best guys evenly and just going at it hard. And that's where I was going with earlier. Our practices are so extremely competitive, sometimes to the point where, coach and I have to reel them back in. We've got to take a breath and relax because guys are going at it. We've just got a lot of guys on the team that are not willing to back down at all. It's like I was talking about, Savion earlier. He's not a very big cat, you know what I mean? But he thinks he's 6'5", you know what I mean? He's got that mentality.
Yes, he does.
That sort of mentality.
He's strong, like he's 7 foot.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask too before. Sorry, Tom. So as far as
to the back of the line.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Before we get out of the offensive topic and that. So I don't know. Some teams, they kind of identify as like a 3-point team. I guess maybe a layup team, a jump shot team, a dunking team. What would you guys consider yourself? If you had to put it on paper, had to write something out, what would you say?
A winning team.
D.
That was not. All the above. Okay.
Above. Yeah, I mean I'll tell you again. I mean, we are looking to move the ball as much as possible. We are looking to create those turnovers on the defensive side, but I think that our boys are more than happy to come up against a zone. We've got some guys that can really shoot the ball at a high percentage, and they're pretty confident shooters. So I think we've got some guys that never met a zone they didn't like. So we're anxious for those kinds of times.
The hair trigger.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, so I had a bit of a question talking about systems and stuff like that, your offensive and your defensive system, of course. Last night when we were kind of talking, I asked you about the involvement Lakeside, varsity team has with kind of the younger, the JV, maybe 9th grade team and below. So I kind of wanted to know, are you guys implementing same systems in that, of course, JV, but freshmen and even below? Are you guys kind of showing them what you expect and this is how we want it ran, and it better be perfect by the time they're able to go varsity?
Yeah, what we're doing at the lower levels we're trying to have those coaches implement systems, the very basic systems as far as what we're wanting to run. It's a more stripped down version of what we're doing, but we're using all the same terminology, attempting to run some very similar sets. While at the same time wanting them to be able to identify the personnel that they have. I don't know that we're necessarily set in the fact that this particular offense is something that they have to run at that level because they may not have the personnel to be able to do some of that stuff. But defensively, absolutely, it is across the board. That defensive mentality, all the defensive terminology. We want those kids to have those skills at that lower level, at the younger age, so that when they step in as ninth graders, they're not freaked out by the fact that we're running some of these extremely high intensive defenses.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, like, success always starts when it's younger and stuff, and it's just awesome to hear that you guys are starting them young and building it up so that success can sustain throughout the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So I always hook. So Coach Rich is on here, Coach Goody, and he wants to know, and I always hook Coach Rich up because he's been a long time follower,
Coach
a long
Rich.
time listener. He wants to know, do you miss the bully?
I was thinking about him. I know he's always on here. Absolutely, I miss him. Come on home.
Yeah.
Get out of that cushy sun.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
One of the things we talk about with all the coaches coming on here, and
It's a little boy, man.
you guys are the first hoop squad that we have on here. So, like we talked about last night, we're big county ball guys. You know what I mean? We love the county rivalries. For those of you watching now, tomorrow, or any other time you guys are watching, once these COVID restrictions are released and we're able to pack the gyms again and we can start doing this, our sincere hope is that any time an Ashtabula County is playing an Ashtabula County team, that those tickets are sold out 2 days before the game. So with that being said, coaches, what are some of the games? Are there any of the games that kind of get a double circle? That one of the things one of the coaches on here said was some games feel like they're 2 losses. What games would feel like 2 losses to you?
You might have nailed it earlier. Just any of the county squads, that we go up against, where it seems like the guys, are wanting to even go to take it to that next step, that next level as far as their play is concerned. But all the basketball teams in the county are tough. I mean, whether it's Coach Bowser's team in Geneva, he runs a great program. Or even going over to Coach Bowler's team over at Edgewood. I mean, obviously, we really enjoy competing against those teams, and there are never ever any gimmies. Coach he's such a good coach. He can take a squad, maybe a lower squad, and turn them into a championship team like that. He's just that good.
Yeah, I've always felt that a county win has a little bit more hot sauce on it. We'll call it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just the kids all know each other. So there's something to that. They're hanging out with they're buddies with a lot of the guys at Geneva and Edgewood, and so it definitely means a lot more when you're going up against a buddy.
I was going to say, with internet and the technology the way it is, everyone's friends with everybody. Everybody love everybody. Anyway, So I had a quick question. So I know Lakeside versus Edgewood in football. There's a battle of the bridge. Is there a battle of the bridge for Lakeside versus Edgewood for basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing. I guess I don't know for sure. I guess I assumed it was the same sort of deal, battle of the bridge. But
boys, if there's not. If
I could write a 6-page article about it.
It seems like a good time.
Why not? We could. Sammy had a good one earlier in the year. We could just name it Battle for Route 11. We could change it for basketball. Call it a day.
Hey, I'm with it.
We may be commissioning some sort of a county trophy of sorts.
You never know.
For you gentlemen to compete for. stay tuned.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I like it.
So kind of going off of that, actually, I
would
just
love it.
got a question. Are there any, because, I mean, I'm a little ignorant to Lakeside basketball here, so I love learning. Are there any, like, traditions or any, like, trophies, anything like that you guys do year after year? Or if so, if not, what are some traditions you guys are kind of trying to instill into the program?
You know, we're still kind of in the developmental stages of some of that stuff. I know that there are some things that we're talking about wanting to do that we may have to maybe discuss with you at a later date. We got some things that we're thinking about, Coach and I. But a lot of the stuff is, you know, kind of in the developmental stages. And then as soon as we kind of get going with something, you know, we get another slowdown. So stay tuned, I guess, for that one.
All right. Very cool.
Got a shout out to AD for Lakeside, Jason Baxter, showing up tonight.
All
How
right,
you doing, buddy?
yeah.
He said we may have to get a trophy. ... Listen, I know what it is. We got. It's not just
That's
here,
right.
guys. It's you know all the way to the upper leaders. Ashtabula County has some of the best leaders in the state, in the country, running these kids, and Jason Baxter is another shining example of that. Yeah. So one of the things that I would like to ask, so with COVID, with everything getting pushed out, how are you guys, without giving out the secret sauce, but how are you guys getting around these restrictions? Because you guys you as coaches know right now is what matters, because by the time that the first tip-off comes, everything you've done to that is what's going to make the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as like, you know, the getting around, we don't want to do anything that, you know, in any way could jeopardize the health of the kids, obviously, or you know, jeopardize anything having to do with like the season. So we're not trying to, you know, like get around per se. What we are doing is we've been reaching out to the kids on a daily basis and having them. We've been throwing out like little challenges and little drills for them to conduct and then send back to me.
Okay.
And part of them, you know, it could be a push-up challenge. Today we did a burpee challenge. We have a ball handling drill, a specific ball handling drill that I want them to work on now because it will come into play a little bit later when we do get back into the gym. So we've been doing different things every day and then having them send me the videos. And then we've just been trying to have a little fun with it, just kind of mashing everything together and throwing it together, either like, you know, music or something silly. But it's just a way that we can sort of keep the kids engaged and focused. And like I said earlier, even bigger than that, the bigger challenge is making sure that they're staying focused on their academics.
Yeah, because grades, you know, these are student athletes, student being the operative word here. You know what I mean? That's the most important. And you guys, as a coaching staff, are in a very nice position because if you act up, the first person to know is the guy who's holding the whistle and lies about the time.
That's right. Yep. That's right. And so
listen,
as
guys,
part of that,
for all you players, I just want to let you know, all you basketball players, no one has ever made the time for Sean Allgood on a conditioning drill. Usain Bolt didn't make the time.
Don't believe that, guys. Keep going. Don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sammy on this one.
I was trying to tell you guys a story last night a little bit where, you know, we had. Like I said, we're competing for every single drill, and you know the way that we, you know, decide who the winner and loser is. You know, the winner doesn't have to run at the end of the drill. Well, I had told Coach, I said, look, for this particular drill, I pulled him aside. I said, hey, for this particular drill, I really want to emphasize the fact that the winners did a good job, and that the losers, you know, we want to give them a little bit extra, a little bit, so, you know, a little bit more. He said, so you want to add a little bit extra hot sauce on this one? I said, yeah, absolutely, a little extra hot sauce. So yeah, he's our guy as far as putting the boys on the lines, and he comes up with a lot of very, very creative ways to keep the boys in condition. I'll tell you that much.
All right, so what's the favorite conditioning drill for you guys to run? I know Goody's got one. I know he does.
Look at him. He just nothing makes Sean Allgood better.
You're holding the whistle. You're holding the whistle, and you got like 8 to 10 seconds to decide what I'm gonna make these cats do tonight. What's the one you're going to when you're pissed? Mad.
No 8 seconds. It's 1. That's my favorite.
7-1.
7-1.
Did you hear it? 7-1.
Yeah, I heard it. I listen. I got
that
PTSD.
Means there's 7 times down the court and 1. You remember those?
I do. I feel like I need to go get an inhaler.
My favorite is when he takes them off the baseline and puts them on the sideline. He puts them on the sideline, and they have to go sideline to sideline, and they have to do it X amount of. They have to do it 4 times in 8 seconds. So they have to do. I don't know. I can't think of some of the ones he comes up with, but each time that he does it, I'm sure that's not right, but each time that he does it, the kids.
Let me remember those.
And a lot of times he'll have me holding, just looking at the clock, and I've got to tell him.
Yeah, no. Hey, that's Coach Newsome's favorite part right there. Because hey, listen, and Goody loves it too. You want to know why? Because Goody don't have to worry about lying no more. That's why. You ain't got to worry about whether it's the truth or not.
Oh man!
I joke around with and I've called out.
Man, come on, man.
I've called out to these players a couple times tonight, but on a very serious note, I can tell you from personal experience, from being a day one NBA 2K player to what we ended the season as that year. All this stuff that these two guys are doing right now are going to pay off. It will in the end. You are going to find different levels that you didn't even realize you had, and it's going to, those things present yourself. All that coaching and all this extra conditioning comes out when you don't think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So pay attention to these guys. They know what they're doing. I'm going to ask, I guess my final question before is, what can we look forward to? And I'm going to ask both of you guys to answer this. What can we look forward to in Lakeside Dragon basketball this year?
Well, we're looking to hang our conference banner up in that gym.
There it is.
Ultimately, that's our
There
goal.
it is.
Like I said earlier, my wife hung 2 of them up there when she was coaching volleyball, and I'd like to at least get one up. But I think that's our goal. We want to get a conference CBC banner hung up there, and then we'd like to take it a little bit further in the postseason than we did last year.
Coach Allgood, what can we look forward to? I'm gonna leave that up there.
Well, grit, desire. Like I said, grit, desire. You're gonna get what your money. You're gonna get out of it what you came to see. We're go for you, but just seeing the kids how they progress. And how they're going to show you that they give that no give up attitude, just toughness. That's what we're Coach and I are trying to instill in these kids. Just toughness. They're already tough kids. They're smart kids, but we just want to constantly have that toughness about us without crossing the line.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this year across the board with all the county teams. I'm not gonna lie, Lakeside is a little bit near and dear to my heart. I would say Sammy and Tom, I could probably speak to you guys on that one too. I can't wait to see you guys play basketball this year. It's gonna be a fun ride. Hopefully everything goes well. Cross your fingers, everything does what we're supposed to do. So
yeah, for sure. And go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna go ahead with you. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know what the time looks like or whatever, but Coach and I both appreciate what you guys are doing, for for the community too, for the county teams and the exposure that they're getting. Just being on your show. I know
Absolutely.
that all the kids across the county really they get excited. They love when you guys are talking about them, and we're big fans of the show. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing for sure.
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
I really appreciate it, and that's the biggest thing when we got together and started on this pathway. For where we kind of were like, hey, these high school kids deserve some extra stuff. They deserve they deserve, I call it the Youngstown treatment. I call it the Columbus treatment. You go down there and these kids are household names and all the local watering holes are if you go in there, their games are on TV, and that's what we should have here because our Ashtabula athletes, and this is county-wide, are just as special as anybody else. And we're trying to help show that. And one of the things I think that is actually paddling the boat are men like you guys. And I very much mean that. There's been a lot, I said already, ups and downs, changes this way and that way. I think Lakeside's got it right. I think they figured out, the sauce. They figured out the seasoning. It's time to let Lakeside go out there and start cooking. I want to take this time really to thank both of you guys for coming on and being our first basketball coaches this year. You guys both, as soon as we contacted you, right on board. All about it for the kids, and we appreciate that. And I cannot wait. Like I said, I can't wait to beat Jamar Parker this year in the gym, going when Dominic dunks on somebody or Brandon Ford has on the ground and grab his shoe.
I can't wait to just see the first dunk. I want to see someone stretch it back and boom, coming in hot, baby.
I might throw my back out.
You got a few guys that might be able to pull that off for you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it tonight. Anytime you guys need something, don't hesitate to email, call, text, whatever it is, tweet, Instagram, TikTok me. I don't know, but yeah, if you guys need some help or some coverage or something, let us know.
Oh, we're gonna be there anyway.
Awesome. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on here tonight.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it, man. You guys, you're my favorite, man.
You guys do. But hey, I really want to shut you guys out real quick. Sorry, I'm stuttering here. Coach, you said something earlier really resonated with me when you were talking about Brandon Ford, about how you're rattling off his stats, 18 points, 7 boards, and then you just rattled off his GPA too, the 3.7. And I think it's so awesome that area coaches have not only invested in these young men as athletes, but also as young men and students. And I think that's going to pay huge dividends for them down the line. Because like Sam said earlier in the show, like not everyone goes on to be – not everyone's Meek Johnson. Not everyone's going to be replacing Jake Carlton at Ohio State his freshman year. But you know what? Everyone's going to have a career path that they go down. And I think it behooves the coaches to get behind the kids and really and really pump them up academic-wise. And so I wanted to thank you guys for that because I think that's super dope. And, thanks for just doing that. And thanks for making this awesome for us because we super appreciate you guys coming on and doing all this. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
100.
Out, man. Anytime, man.
Yep. Appreciate it. So we'll get you guys off of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will say I would recommend to stay tuned because I'm not going to lie. I cannot wait to watch Tom eat this.
Woo, I'm sweating.
This habanero chinchilla pepper thing, whatever it is he's about to put down his gullet. I can't wait.
Let me go grab it.
You should really go get some milk while you're in the kitchen too.
I don't need no milk, Ryan. Come on, boy.
But all right, coaches, we'll get you off here. Do your thing. Thanks for joining us tonight. Can't wait to see you during the season. Later, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Right, man.
Let it go.
Nation.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. All right, so we'll mute their mics while they watch this travesty that's about to happen.
That's the first of many interviews this year. I'm really excited that we get to kick it off with our alma mater.
Yeah.
I really do. I've always pulled for Lakeside. I think that there's some, there have been some tribulations. There have been, a lot of tribulations for the school itself with athletics and stuff like that. I think that they have a great mind in, Jason Baxter out there doing a great job and getting the right guys in the position. These guys deserve to be, they deserve pats on the back, because the only time you ever hear people's names anymore is when you want to kick them in the butt. So, I have a very good friend that said, I believe in giving roses to the people before they hit the ground. And that's what what I'm trying to do here is let you guys know that Lakeside, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I think you guys are really making some positive changes, and these kids are showing it. But without further ado, Tom.
All right. So for anyone who didn't tune in at the beginning, Two Ugly Mugs, buddy of mine from college, started a salsa company. Up his salsa in Ashtabula Walmart in the salsa department, I guess. But he heard what we were doing, and he got super pumped, and he was like, hey, I'm going to send something to you. If you could do it on your show, I'd really appreciate it. So he sent me a bottle of the Two Ugly Mugs salsa, and then this Reaper pack, which if you see here, it's got ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper pepper in it. And you got to challenge someone if you survive. So I've got the Two Ugly Mugs. I mixed it up last night, overnight, chill it for an hour or so. I don't have tortilla chips, so I got to do a spoon.
He's about to spoon feed himself. I can't wait to watch this.
Oh, my God.
All right, so without further ado, just so you guys know it's real, I'm going to hold it up. Oh, my God. Ah, there we go. All right. Here we go.
I bet you won't smear it in your eyes.
I bet I won't, brother. What the heck?
Hold on, Tom. I'll tell you when to take a bite. That way it's not frozen.
All right.
Because you're stuttery. You've been stuttery all night, but we'll see.
All right, you're good.
Right, let's see.
All right, so I got this. It's a pretty big spoonful. Here we go.
This suspense is killing me.
Yeah, it's And ladies and gentlemen, Tom's going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, my God. Shit. Sorry.
All right, folks. Tom ate a super hot chinchilla. We just got done having Lakeside on the board. Thanks, you guys, so much tonight for joining us. We're not going to... Yeah. Hey, we'll see y'all next week. We do plan on having coaches next Tuesday. We'll get you up to date as we go. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Can't wait for basketball season to kick in.
Yeah, keep your ears open. We are contacting some coaches this week, so we will be announcing who it is. I can't wait, guys.
Yep. All right, 4-4 own goal. Getting out of here. Big deuces. See y'all next week.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam right in time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spend it with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.